Remember, math in college is about letters, not numbers.
Yeah.
I'm not good at counting.
My name is Dean-Farrar. I'm the Operations and Event Manager at Middlebury College. It's all encompassing of making the athletic department operate in terms of games, practices, and general use. Most days, I probably think of myself like a party planner. I'm big on, we have a job to do. We're here for the students. It's like seasons. So I think my job is like the weather. Every day is entirely different, but you could break it up into 4 sections of the year, and each section of the year would be relatively the same. We have to get every competition season ready for the competition season to happen. Just making sure everything is all set up. So that happens 3 times a year. That happens for the fall, that happens for the winter, and that happens for the spring. Once it's kind of set up and going though, it goes. My degree's in math, and I try and make as many processed pieces as possible. And a lot of the things that I do now on a day-to-day basis are because I can put in good systems.
I actually think it goes back to closer to when I was a little kid. My mom's degree is in early childhood development and social work, and we didn't have a television until I was like 7 or 8. And so it was music and blocks. I think I just want to create. I've done a whole bunch of different things that have always been like little snippets, and someone would tell me when you finally find the right one, you're actually going to like dig into it. So like my first like venture in this kind of stuff was an extra 3-foot USB cable, which made your phone cable twice as long, so you didn't have to hang out on the floor while you talk on the phone. It was like fun to develop that and order them and have them made. And then I decided to learn how to knit. So I knit like 100 hats for people who needed them in the winter. My girlfriend works at a high school, fairly depressed high school, not a lot of money. And they had a whole bunch of kids that didn't have winter hats. So I was like, hey, we still have that whole Tupperware, bring them to work, get rid of them. Then I did a Kickstarter campaign for a standing desk, which was fully funded, and that was by far the most fun. You have to like give people something and hope it doesn't really suck. There's 3 standing desks of my desks in the library now. You can go find them. Yeah, it's called the Nomad Stand. And then I've always made lotion. It hasn't really taken off yet, but I'm passionate about this one. Some of my favorite memories growing up as a kid are the homemade gifts my mom would make me for the holidays. As I've gotten older, I've realized some of the values she instilled in me. Take care of each other and live intentionally. One year for Christmas, I decided to make my mom some of my homemade lotion bars. Being a Vermonter, I know how wicked dry it can be, and I know that she'd love them. Something I know about making lotion is you can't make just one, you have to make an entire batch. So instead of getting 1 tube, she got 10, which for my mom is a lifetime supply. Eventually, she ended up giving some away to her friends, and the feedback was priceless. This stuff is wicked good. Thanks, Mom. I wake up every day and come to Middlebury College to make the students' lives better, to have a voice for the people that can't have a voice in our department, and have everybody's experience be as normalized as possible. And that's a great motivation. That's my why. I wish I could interact with the students more. I, as much as possible, do things that are not related to my job. One, because it helps us do our jobs better. Understanding what is going on in the film department helps me work in athletics better. It helps me serve the students better, helps me understand everything that's going on. Part of my job is that I get to go to games all the time. That's my paycheck at the end of the week. It's like, that's what I've worked for. It's awesome. I need a creative outlet. I think all of us need a creative outlet, and innovating, solving problems, doing things is my creative outlet. I Don't think of it as work at all. I think of it as fun. It's fun to create. Make something out of nothing. What's better than that, right? So that's how I find time, but I love to create. So my advice is stay curious, stay hungry for knowledge. Oh, and ask questions, I guess. Can get a lot done just by asking questions. Like the house I grew up in is very much agree to disagree. Being curious and knowing people are different, but they're not wrong, it opens every door in your life. Don't be afraid of failure, because you're going to fail. And if you innovate correctly, you're going to fail a lot. You can screw something up 3 times before you pay the cost of someone else doing it for you. Oh, start small. Go with something you're just super passionate about. If it's reading, find someone else that's interested in reading and try and read a book together and talk about the book, and then let that grow. But don't go big. Go big, you're going to add too much into a busy life. But if you start small, like if it's writing, just like write a couple sentences a day about something. If it's photography, take like 1 picture a day. Nobody understands solid lotion. The only people that do are people that have used it, right? And there's a huge market for knitters. It's like the biggest solid like lotion bar market are knitters. I was just like, yeah, there's a lot of other people out there. Like my hands, like I've got them, I crack all the time. So I would use chapstick on my hands. So I started making my own chapstick because I don't like chemicals. Like I hate it. And making my own stuff and using it. And I was like, oh, I'd make this into a bar and not use the same stuff on my lips as I'm using on the inside of my nose in cold season or on my fingers after I work out. So I'll make this bar and I'll use it. I sent out about 600 samples last year. And the feedback I got was the samples last too long. Some of the best stuff I've ever used, and I don't understand. This stuff's great, but I have lotion that comes in a pump. I'm good. The fact that it's solid is so lost on people. It's hilarious. Like I have to get it in people's hands. People have to have it to understand it. Well, I'm just going to keep giving it to people and solving their cracked problems. My chapstick tube and my lotion bar are the exact same stuff. There's no difference. But people understand chapstick tubes. They don't understand lotion bars. So I'm going to give it away. So on my website, all you have to do is pay for shipping.